Chapter 3. The chapter about the mind. The wise steady their minds. The Buddha's attendant, Meghiya, left the Buddha alone against his wishes and went and meditated in a mango grove. His mind was overcome with defilements, and the Buddha taught him with these verses, at the conclusion of which he attained stream entry. 33. An agitated and unsteady mind, difficult to guard, difficult to ward. The sagacious one will make straight, as a fletcher does his arrow. 34. Like a fish thrown up on dry land, pulled out from its watery home. Mind is agitated. One ought to throw off the sway of Mara. The mind should be restrained. A female lay disciple supported some monks during the rains retreat and was given a meditation subject herself, with which she attained the third stage of awakening. Later, a monk went to her and realized she knew his every thought and was scared by that. But the Buddha told him to reside near her, and he taught him about the mind with this verse. Soon he became an arahat. 35. For the mind that is difficult to subdue, flighty and flitting, wherever it will, restraint is good. A restrained mind brings happiness. The mind should be well guarded. Anuruddha was a faithful householder who fulfilled his duties to the monastics, and later was ordained himself, but became weary with all the rules and regulations. The Buddha told him his real duty was only to guard his mind, and further taught him with this verse. 36. Hard to see and very subtle, and flitting wherever it will. The sage should surely guard the mind. A guarded mind brings happiness. Controlling the mind leads to escape. Sangharakkhita ordained as a monk and received robes, one of which he wished to give to an elder, his uncle. The elder had no need for it though and refused it. Venerable Sangharakkhita daydreamed about returning to the household life and was distressed when his daydream was exposed, but the Buddha taught him as follows. 37. Those who will restrain the mind that roams far away and is lonesome, without a body, hidden, gain release from the bonds of Mara. Develop a mind free from perplexity. Cittahatta wavered continually between being a monk and a householder, but eventually he saw into the truth of impermanence, ordained yet again, and became an arahat. The Buddha spoke these verses about him. 38. For the one with unsettled mind, who does not know the true Dhamma, whose confidence is wavering, wisdom is surely unfulfilled. 39. For the one with mind free of lust, with mind unperplexed, for the one who has abandoned making merit and demerit, for the watchful there is no fear. Understanding and wisdom overcome Mara. 500 monks were invited to stay in a forest for the rains retreat, but the tree spirits were not happy and drove them away. The Buddha taught the monks to discourse about loving kindness. They returned, and the spirits served their needs. The monks developed insight, and the Buddha then gave this teaching. 40. Knowing this body is frail like a jar, establishing the mind like a fortress. Fight Mara with the weapon of wisdom. Guard your success, and do not be attached. The body is impermanent. Someone who had been a fowler in a previous life ordained, and became known as Venerable Tissa. But not long after, his body developed all kinds of sores. The Buddha washed his body, taught the following verse, and he became an arhat before dying for the last time. 41. Before long has passed, alas, this body will lie on the ground, rejected, without consciousness, just like a useless piece of wood. The dangers of a badly directed mind. When the Buddha saw the cowherder Nanda was ready, he taught him the gradual path, and he attained stream entry. But shortly afterwards, he was shot by a hunter and died. The Buddha then taught this verse. 42. Whatever an aggressor might do to an aggressor, or an enemy to an enemy, a mind that's badly directed can do far worse than that to him. The benefits of a well-directed mind. A merchant's son, Soraya, developed lust for Venerable Mahakachayana and was transformed into a woman. Later, after asking pardon, he became a man again, ordained, and soon became an arhat. The Buddha explained what a well-directed mind can do for one. 43. Mother and father might not do for him or other relatives as much good as a mind that is well-directed can do for him.